Hey everyone, this is Akansha from Gdsc, and I'm so glad that you are here today. Today in this session, we are going to focus on DSA. This is the term that you definitely have heard several times. Yet for some reason you haven't started working on it or get stuck in between doing questions or get lost in the tutorial hill. No matter what the reason is, GDSA Miet is here for you. In this 1 hour session, we will discuss what is DSA, why it is important, how to get started, platforms, roadmaps, and the main center of attention, the DSA bootcamp for which most of you are gathered here. Each and every detail of the bootcamp will be discussed later in the session. So, when it is going to start, what you will learn, the prerequisites of DSA bootcamp, and what you will get in the end of completing the DSA bootcamp. So make sure you stick with us till the end. Now, before diving in the main content, I would first like to introduce the team members. Agam Gupta, Akansha Baghel, and Shriya Singh. We all handle the CP domain of GDSC. So here now, Shreya, my fellow team member, will lead you further towards the main content. Shreya.
So, hello everyone. I hope you're all having a good day. So, let's start with the roadmap to DSA. Now, since we're here to talk about DSA, I want you all to write the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word DSA in the chat box. It doesn't have to be a definition, just anything that pops into your mind that DSA. Algorithms. C++ in Java. All right, so right, handling of data. All right. So we will be seeing what DSA exactly is later on. So let's first, okay, so what is DSA? Let's start with it. As you can see, it is made up of two words, data structure and algorithms. We're going to look into each one of these one by one, but first we need to know what is this word data doing over here? What is data? Now by dictionary meaning, data is raw facts and figures about anything. Now, what does this raw facts and figures means? Raw means kacha, so kache facts and figures sounds all right. So, what do you think this raw over here means? Raw basically means facts and figures that have not yet been processed. To understand what this process means, let's see an example. Suppose we have temperature readings of an area over several years. For example, for 2020, it was 7 degrees Celsius. For 2021, it was 6 degrees Celsius. 2022, it was 7 degrees Celsius again. So this data itself isn't useful unless we analyze it, right? So by analyzing and processing, we can predict temperature for the coming year. So once we process this data, it becomes an information. Now data can be anything. It can be an integer like your roll number. It can be a string. It can be Boolean value like true or false value. Now these integers, strings, characters, what are these? These are data types, which is specifying what type of data it is. So all this data is very important. It is very valuable. Why do you think these Google, Facebook, Twitter, and big tech companies are famous? Because they have loads of data and we want to use that data. We want to access that data. Google Map uses this data about all the routes to find the shortest path. So now we have basic understanding of what data is. Now we're good to go about learning what data structure means. Let's see what this data structure means. Let's see the next slide. Well, basically, data structure is a way of structuring the data. We have talked about data. Now we want to structure it, right? So you can imagine a data structure like the boxes we have in our homes. We have different type of drawers to store different types of things. For example, we keep kitchen knives in one drawer. We keep our stationery in another drawer. We keep clothes in some another drawer. So why do we do this? Why do we arrange all these things in an organized manner? We do this because when we need it, we want to access it efficiently, right? Just imagine a big box and you put all of the things together in it. It will be a mess, right? If suppose you wake up and you want to brush your teeth, and imagine the struggle you have to go through to just to find your toothbrush, right? So similarly, we arrange the data, we organize the data using data structure. So we can access it efficiently when we need it. Now, sometimes we want our data to be contiguous, and sometimes it doesn't have to be contiguous. Now, what does this term contiguous means? Contiguous means one after another in a sequential manner. For example, while storing page number of a book, we need a data structure which is contiguous. We cannot place like we put 10th page first and then second and then sixth and first. It has to be sequential. So we need contiguous data structure over here. But if we are storing something like, think about candies, you can store it however we want. The data structure doesn't need to be contiguous in this case, right? So now we know what is data, why are we storing it, how are we storing it using data structure, that is to use it efficiently. Now the question arises, why are we storing this data in an arranged manner? Why do we want to access this data? So let's see how we are going to use this data. So am I the only one who's not seeing the slide changing?
Agam, can you please present your screen again? Because it's not changing.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's
Next slide.
no, this slide only. So we were talking about how to use this stored data, right? This data becomes useless if it cannot extract any information out of it. Suppose we talked about temperature readings earlier in the session. So they might be of no use if we cannot process it and we cannot predict what the temperature for the coming year would be, right? So the way in which you extract information from the data, the set steps that you have to follow to extract information out of data, that is called an algorithm. For example, suppose you have a map map of your town and you want to go to your college from your home. You have all the data. Now you have to process it. Find the optimal route for yourself. Find the shortest path. Now this process of finding the shortest path is an algorithm. So it is a set of rules that must be followed when solving a particular problem. It is like a recipe for cooking food. For example, when you're cooking a Maggi, you you boil the water, then you add noodles, and then you add masala, and then you boil again. This is an algorithm for making Maggi. So let's summarize what we have learned so far. First, we saw data structures, which are like boxes to store data so we can access it efficiently, right? Then we saw algorithms, which were a set of rules that we use to manipulate stored data and extract information out of it. For example, we have stored the names of the attendees of this session in an array. We have all of your names. We took these names and stored it in an array. Now, all your names are the data over here, and the data structure we used, that is the structure we used to store this data, that is array. Now, if we want to process this data, we want to get the names in an alphabetical order, we will use a sorting algorithm to sort the names. So now we know what is TSA. Let's see why we should learn it. First of all, why do you think companies hire people? Do they want you to go to the office, they give you the salary and then come back home?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. They have problems and they want us to solve these problems for them. So they need people who will be able to solve these problems for them. And to solve a problem, you need to have good problem solving skills. So how will they know that you have good problem solving skills? And TSA is a good way to analyze a person's problem solving skill. If someone have a good TSA skills, that means that is directly proportional to having good problem solving skills, which basically means that he'll be able to solve the problems for the companies, and hence they'll want this candidate, and the chances of getting the job increases for this candidate. Therefore, we can safely say that if you are getting better TSA skills, the chances of getting a job will get better for you. Furthermore, if you're building your own apps or projects, you need some DSA knowledge. So I hope by this point we know what is data structure and algorithms and why you should learn it. So let's begin with the fun part and solve a problem. And for that, Agam is here. Over to you, Agam.
So hello everyone. Now it's time to implement what we have learned so far. Let's do some coding. So here is the simple question. Is 7 present in the given array or not? And the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So let's jump to IDE. Hmm. So the question is 7 present in the input list or not? So we are going to use three basic steps to solve this problem. Step 1 is take input data and store it in data structure. And step 2 is extract information from the data. And step 3 is display results. So step 1, take input data and store it in data structure. Mm, so here we are going to use array to store the data. So let declare an array. Next, take number of elements from the user. Now store these n elements in the array. Here step 1 is done. Now the most important step 2 comes. Extract information from the data. So here information is 7 present or not? Basically we have to search for 7 in the array. So how can we do this? Can anyone tell me how can we do this? कोई बताएगा? नहीं, चलो मैं ही कर दूँ. So what I'm thinking is I can compare 7 with each element of the array. So here is what I'm thinking. I can compare 7 with 1. Is 7 equals to 1? No. Is 7 equal? No. Is 7 equals to 3? No. Is 7 equals to 4? No. Is 7 equals to 5? Absolutely not. Is 7 equals to 6? It's 7 equals to 7. Yes. So we found our element. So we can say 7 is present in the array. So to implement this thing, I can create a function which is bool present. This function will return true if 7 is present in the list, in the input list, and this function will return false if it is not present in. So let's do this. It will take array as input and its size. So to compare 7 with each element in the array, I can loop over the array. Simple. And I lesser than n and I plus plus. If any element of the array is equals to 7, then we can return true. And if 7 is not present in the array, then we can return false. It's like bool answer is present. We are passing array and size of the array as argument. Now, 2 steps are done. The third step is display result. So if equals to true, then we can display present. That is 7 is present in the list. Else we can say 7. Let's check our code with the input. So the input is 7 elements. And the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's run it. So 7 is present in the list. So instead of hard coding, I can use this code for any number. So to implement this, I can write something like key and replace this 7 with key. So as present, now check for 8. Let's give it a say. and it is not present. So our code is working fine. That is done. Now next slide is how to learn DSA. So to explain this, I will use a board. Before starting with DSA, you should be familiar with any one of the programming language. And this is the level. Any one programming language. You can learn C++, you can either learn Java, Python. Uh, but I would recommend you to go with either C++. These languages are more in demand. So after learning a programming language, there are four levels to master any topic in the DSA. And these four levels are learn theory about any topic, solve some basic problems about the topic, do some easy and medium standard problems, and then regularly participate in contests. So let us check levels. So level one is learn theory. Let us suppose we are learning linked list. So in level one, we check. We have a concept of three W's, and three W's are what is linked list, why we use linked list, and where to use linked list. And another most important point is how it is different from other data structure. So level one cover these topics about any topic. Then we move to level two. This level includes solving some basic problems of any topic. Here we take an example of linked list again. We do some basic problems such as how to link list, how to insert an element in the linked list, how to element in the linked list, and how to delete an element in the list. So level 2 cover these basic problems. And then after mastering level 2, we can jump to level 3. And this level is very important. This is the most difficult level also. At this level, you should solve 90 and 90 to 100 easy and medium standard questions regarding any DSA topic. Questions in this level, you should solve questions that were asked in previous interviews about company specific questions. At this level, you should identify patterns. Patterns means similarities among questions. You should be able to identify patterns among questions. It will make you easy to solve related questions. Then after mastering level 3, or we can say in parallel of level 3, we jump to level 4, which includes regular participation in contests. At this level, you should regularly participate in contests. Contests are like mock interviews. They will make you habitual of solving questions in limited time. They will give you experience of solving problems in limited time. So our basic learning path of any topic in DSA is covered by these 3 or 4 steps. You can master any topic in DSA by following these 4 levels. Now come back to our PPT. Next slide is platforms for doing practice. After DSA, where to practice problems on these topics. So for competitive programming, you can practice on Codesef, Codeforces, and for data structures and algorithm, you can practice on LeetCode, InterviewBit, Geeks for Geeks, HackerEarth, and HackerRank is the most important platform because most of the tech giants companies conduct their online assessment on HackerRank. So you should be familiar with HackerRank. So thank you guys. Now Akansha will continue from here.
Okay, thank you, Agam. So this boot camp, now we are going to discuss about the boot camps. Okay. So this boot camp is a 30-day program where you will be solving multiple problems and learning new algorithms every week. And you will also get a coding and competitive environment. Isn't it fun? Okay. So first, let's discuss um, what you will learn in this. Okay, let me previous slide, please. Okay, so what you will learn in this bootcamp. So first of all, for those who haven't started their coding journey yet, can kickstart with us, and I have to say that this is really a great opportunity for you guys. Next, you will be able to get optimized solutions for the problems, as we will be discussing time and space complexity and also provide examples along with them where and how you can optimize your code. The third point is at the end of this boot camp, you will develop up to some level of problem solving ability. Now, why I'm saying some level of problem solving ability? Because programming is a never ending game. Coding needs practice, and the more you practice, the better you will become. So let's discuss the prerequisites of the bootcamp. As Agam have already told about you that you should know at least one programming language, and he also have included these three languages: C++, Java, and Python. But now I have to say this, that you can do DSA in any of the language. But why we are mostly focused on these three language? What is the reason? I would like to some of you. Can you tell me like why we are choosing only these three language for doing DSA and CP? What is the reason that we are choosing these three languages as a DS for doing DSA? Okay, yes, but now here's my point. Most of the interview want you to know everything about any one of these language. You just need just learn any one of these language, and you have to know everything about it. What does that include? Um, Now, why the interviewers most favored language is C++, Java, and Python? Because they have the concepts of OOPS. They have certain libraries which help to shorten the code. Like for those who are doing in C++, they know about the STL library. It really make the code short and crispy. Similarly, in Java, we have collection framework for which we use to just shorten the code. Now, secondly, these language have a great community support, especially for C++. Whenever you get stuck in doing questions, or like, you will always find the answers over the internet for these languages. So that is why this is the most favored languages for the interviewers, as well as for doing DSA and CP also. Next slide, please. Okay. So now some of you are thinking that, okay, I don't know about any of the language yet. So you can now kickstart your learning from these channels. I'm not suggesting you that you should learn each and everything about it. Just learn the basics. What are the basics? Syntax. Just pick, first of all, you have to pick any one of the language: C++, Python, or Java. First you pick any one language, then you have to just learn the syntax. After syntax, just learn how to take inputs, give output, how the arrays work, and string. These are the only things required for you to continue in this bootcamp. These 3-4 things you are just required. So first you have to pick a language, then just learn syntax, input, output, arrays, and string. That's it. Okay. These are the channels for which you can learn. Free Code Camp and mostly Code with Harry, they literally have videos on every language, so you can learn from there, as well as there are some documentation. Each language has their own documentation, so somebody who don't like to see videos and prefer reading with the documentation, they can use the documentation as well. Next slide. So moving further, we have the timelines for the bootcamp. Next slide. Okay. So moving further, here's the timeline for the bootcamp. Agam, I think your screen is hanging. Shit. Okay. Timelines. So moving further, here are the timelines for the bootcamp. So classes are scheduled on Saturday and Sunday every week, starting from 11th Feb for 4 weeks, which is till 5th of March. So there are the 4 weeks, and classes are on every Saturday and Sunday. Now, 1 week time period is given for you to revise your concepts and all the algorithm that we have discussed in this bootcamp. And on that basis, we will conduct a contest at the end of the bootcamp, which is on 12th March. Similarly, here you can see that there is still 1 week before starting our bootcamp. Today is 4th Feb, and the bootcamp is going to start on 11th. So this time period is majorly provided for those who haven't started any language yet, and also for others to brush up their coding skills a little bit before starting. Okay. Now, next, we have prepared a hand-picked question to learn each topic in DSA. Next. Okay, so we have handpicked question to learn each topic in DSA. You can see that this is the roadmap which we will be using in this bootcamp, and you can clearly see each topic has some certain set of questions which we will be solving in the upcoming weeks. Okay. Okay. Now, let's move further in the session. Now, what you are required to do. First, create a GitHub repository. You need to create a GitHub repository. And first of all, I want you to take the screenshot of the slide, because this contains the name of the repository, gdsc/_/DSA/bootcamp. So you are required to create this repository with this name. And this repository will contain all the problems that we are going to solve in the bootcamp. So make sure you timely commit your code. Then create a LinkedIn post. You have to create a LinkedIn post when starting your bootcamp. So this post should include, first of all, the group icon of the WhatsApp group. I'm sure most of you have already joined the WhatsApp group. And for those who haven't joined, we have already linked it in the chat box, so you can join from there. Okay, so this post should include the group icon of the bootcamp and include hashtag, which are hashtag DSA bootcamp, hashtag Gdsc Miet. So these hashtag must include. Okay. Okay. So what you will get after doing this bootcamp? what you will get. Now, swags. I'm sure everyone get excited by hearing it. Now the swags, but I have to say the swags are not for everyone. Swags and prizes will be given to only those students who will perform good in contest and are maintaining their GitHub repository and posting regularly on LinkedIn. So what they are learning in whatever they are learning in this boot camp, they just have to post on LinkedIn every week and just timely commit your code and prepare well for the contest. So that is all we will do in the boot camp. So that's the end of this roadmap to DSA session. So if anybody has any doubt left or have any queries, feel free to ask us. Okay, if anybody have any doubt, you can ask by opening your mic or write in the chat box. Yes, this you will be creating one repository, and you are going to submit all your code. Whatever, like each week we are doing certain set of questions, and we will also give you homework. So that those question plus the homework part, and you have to just commit all those in that same repository. Will there be an offline contest? This thing we will discuss later on, that whether the contest should be offline or online. According to your preferences, we will just do it. Okay. Anybody has any doubt, please ask. Okay, then I am assuming. Okay, do we have to upload LinkedIn posts daily through these days? No, you don't have to create daily, but like weekly, because the bootcamp is on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So, like first you will create a post for before starting this bootcamp, which is we will be starting on 11th. So just create a LinkedIn post on 11th of Feb, and that what you have learned on that day and everything, and then later week by week you have to post it. Okay, I have already told you the swags are only for those who will perform good in contest, maintaining their repository, and also creating the LinkedIn post. So it is swags are not for all of you. Okay, we have one more announcement. Agam, please change the slide. Yeah. Okay. So this is the solution challenge info session. Okay. So this is an exclusive challenge named as solution challenge, and we will be hosting a info session on 10th Feb. So all of you are requested to scan this code and RSVP to attend the info session of solution challenge. Okay, so those who want to take part in the solution, so those who want to get the want to come in the info session, please scan this QR code. I'm not saying you have to post daily on LinkedIn. You have to post on weekends. Anmol Kumar, you don't have to post daily on LinkedIn. Just post on the weekends since it's on Saturday and Sunday. So whatever you have learned in that in those days, just post it. by using the hashtag. I've already told hashtag Gdsc Miet and hashtag DSA Bootcamp. Okay, then. Thank you all for, I think, what is this info session about? This info session is about Google has one more I have to say, Satakshi, I would like you to explain it more clearly because you are the part of it.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Basically, Solution Challenge is an annual challenge by Google. It is a type of hackathon. So, to know more about it, you can join the info session. We will be explaining in detail about it. Okay, Madhvi?
Satakshi has said, Google Solution Challenge is not like a regular hackathon. It's very different, very unique, and will be very helpful for your career development.
Okay, then I'm assuming all of you have no doubts. So thank you all for joining us for today's session. See you in the bootcamp.